Hi guys. Before I get to today's question, I want to take a moment to thank all of you for all the love and kindness that you've shown me so far, for everyone who's been following my question and answer series, and for all the heartfelt comments. I really appreciate it, and you're the reason why I'm doing this. Thank you so much. So today's question comes from an extremely talented artist and a very good friend of mine. Thank you, Gaurav, for this wonderful question. So Gaurav's question to me is, how did you evolve your aesthetic without any formal training or education in photography? They say you have to know the rules to break them, but in your case, you had no rules. How did you evolve your aesthetic? Did you follow any school of thought or did it come naturally to you? This comes from an absolute non believer in formal training. I know Gaurav's views very briefly, but I'm going to try and answer your question. I am actually looking forward to what you think about this as well, Gaurav. So, the short answer to your question, Gaurav, is no. I didn't follow any school of thought, not consciously anyway. To be clear, I actually did do a small course in photography, which provided me with the essential knowledge to perform the skill set. It gave me the basic grammar of this visual medium. Until I did the course, I had no idea what shutter speed and aperture and all these fancy words like circular polarizer is, and words like high sync speed and rule of thirds and stuff like that. They were all alien words and alien concepts to me. So I definitely did learn the how of photography, partially from this course and partially from Ram and some other photographers that I assisted and interned with. But the artistic exploration and the individual expression, the subjectivity and the beauty of the medium, essentially the what and the why of photography, that was a very organic and a very intimate journey for me. Okay, I'm going to muster all the courage that I have in me and show you some pictures that I took while I started learning photography. Yeah, every single cell in my body cringes at the thought of these pictures that I took back then. Nothing about them is beautiful to me today. Look at them. They're super saturated, super yellow, super green. They're very random close ups that make no sense, or the images are super high contrast. Literally, all you see in these pictures is the effort that went into them, the editing and the photography and the camera and its work. You do not even see the subject matter. You just see these weird colors and what I have done to the image, which is where I started. I'm really embarrassed at my old self, mainly because, well, she thought these pictures were beautiful back then. But I haven't deleted these images because it's important to know where I started from. And sure, I mean, they're terrible, but well, I can observe my evolution and the way, like you said, the aesthetic evolved because I have them. Sure, I started from there, but then I did the course, and I also actually started working with photographers. I spent a lot of time with really good ones. In Ram, I found a very good teacher, a mentor, and also I found a lot of camaraderie and support in the photographers community in Pune. Because of all of this, I believe my images evolved into better looking photographs at that time. And of course, the change was very gradual, but it was very present. No one actually held my hand and like taught me to edit or take pictures, but I learned a lot merely from observation and just by all the examples that I had. Today, my photos look much different from the initial ones, thankfully. My visual literacy is only grown and it keeps growing every single day with more exposure to great work, with more travel, with more visits to museums and art galleries, to all this amazing content online, with more exposure to street art and life experiences. I believe the aesthetic keeps evolving. It's like it has its own life. In my last video, I spoke briefly of how music, literature, and lessons from my guru Meera Panchikar have shaped my values and my benchmark and idea of beauty. Your audience should never see your effort in your art, she says. Your effort screams you in capital letters. Your art is not about you. Your art is of truth and beauty that is outside of you. that finds its way through you. These are the teachings that I have from her, and I am truly convinced of them because I've experienced them in her art and in mine, right? And I believe all my endeavors, irrespective of the medium, have been aligned in my mind with this idea of truth and beauty. Here's how I imagine the development of our artistic sensibilities. In the beginning, I believe we just see the broad outline of an artwork. For example, with music, we listen to an entire song and think of it just as sad or happy music. But then we start taking a closer look, and then we realize, oh, this music came from 7 notes. And then we zoom in a little further, and then we see that, oh, actually, in fact, there are 12 notes, right? And then we keep zooming in and taking a deeper look. Our pursuit of beauty and the desire to study, understand, and appreciate the aesthetic of it just keeps driving us deeper and deeper. We keep zooming in further and begin to admire everything that lies in between the notes, the nuances of the spaces between 2 notes, the gamut of possibilities between highlights and shadows, the profusion of richness between 2 colors. Our mind then just wants to dwell longer, reading and seeing everything that lies between the lines. Our only job, I believe, is to continue this inward journey and keep going as deep as we can as long as we live. I imagine great artists to have gone so deep that, like Ant-Man, who sees the strangest and the most beautiful things when he goes subatomic, they must be living in these in-between spaces and seeing entire universes and beauty that we just don't see it. We're simply far away. Maybe that is the reason why their work moves something deep within us. In a way, their work brings us closer to where they are, closer to their beauty, to their place, which is deep within the folds of these in between spaces. Can formal training or education put us on this path? Does going to art school make sense? As a teacher myself, I have often evaluated the role of a teacher in today's time and age. I believe it has changed widely over the last few decades. A good teacher can answer her students' questions with just better questions, right? I myself have never been to art school, or I never did pursue any formal course, degree, or anything in photography. So I thought of asking my good friends Yash, Anushka, and Nupur about their own experiences with art school. Although Nupur didn't really go to an art school, she did do a residency program in Greece in photography. Anushka and Yash both went to art school. They did their bachelor in design, and Yash is now pursuing a master's in design as well. Anushka says that her experience in art school was absolutely amazing. She says that it changed her life. Art school gave her passion, a direction, and purpose. And she found a lot of support in the community and the faculty at the school. She thought that the learning in her school was very fluid and very exploratory in nature. The structured learning at school, in fact, helped her realize the impact and scope of design, which she probably wouldn't have otherwise. So that's a lot of good stuff, right, about art school. Yash has mixed opinions about it. While Yash as well says that he got a lot of value from the community, from his peers and seniors at college, he thought that his experience in art school didn't really challenge him enough. Although they didn't really have exams, they did have a lot of submissions. But he thinks that too much power was in the teacher's hands. So, for example, a teacher didn't like you, you were sure to get really bad grades, and that somewhere put him off. But he's currently pursuing masters, and he finds his current course very cool because it's very fluid, it's very community based. He finds his master's course much better because in his bachelor's course, if they didn't do something right, they would fail backwards, which means you have to repeat a year. Whereas in this current course, you don't really fail backwards. It's very self exploratory and you fail forwards. So if you are lacking in any way, they'll give you feedback and they'll help you improve, but you don't really fail. I think what Nupur says sums everything that I believe about this topic very well. So here's what she says. Unfortunately, the state of the education system puts you in certain well defined boxes, even art education. Plus, higher education is very expensive now, so not everyone can afford it. While the structure and the discipline that a good art school can provide you can help you a great deal, I think in no way does it define your fate as an artist. When it comes to what you want to say and your own visual language, I think that has everything to do with who you are as a person. Invest in traveling the world, getting to know your country, obsessing over work of a painter you've always liked, seeing how your grandmother makes amti. I'd definitely recommend shorter courses, art residencies, workshops in various corners of the world, and let yourself get drawn to places that you can relate to on your core values. I think that pretty much sums it up for me. Thank you, Nupur, for that. I hope, Gaurav, that this answers your question. And I'm really, really looking forward to what you have to say about formal education and what made you such a non believer. Thank you guys for listening to my answer. Do you have any experiences with art school? What is your take on this subject? Do let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Bye.